Alright everybody, Revolver84 here, and the day I don't want to make this video. I don't want to be making this video right now. When I started the Revolver84 YouTube channel, I just wanted it to be a guide and have funny things on and let's plays. I didn't want to make a channel pushing political agenda or taking itself too seriously. You've seen the videos I make, do you know what I mean? But I've reached my goddamn freaking limit of patience with loot boxes. That as a parent and a gamer, I feel compelled. I've got to say something at this point, like I've reached my limit. Before I go any further though, let me address what might look like an obvious hypocrisy that you're listening to me about a rant about affecting loot boxes while watching me open them. This is Rainbow Six Siege by Ubisoft, and the loot boxes I'm opening I earned in-game. I didn't pay a penny, and for that reason I'm using this video to show you just how little your money pays for when you are buying a typical in-game loot box. I've never purchased a single loot box in my life, and I never will. What else am I going to have on the screen? A keep calm pay for loot boxes poster? Or a picture of a cat hanging in there? Give your heads a shake, man. Now, on the 21st November 2018, an audit by the UK Gambling Commission published a report which, although shocking, is no frickin' way surprising to me because I've been saying this for years. In the last 2 years, the number of children gambling has quadrupled. Not slightly increased. Not doubled, quadrupled, people. You know what else happened in the last 2 years? The releases of games like Fortnite, FIFA 19, Battlefield 5, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Call of Duty World War 2, Overwatch, and of course the most evil of the games, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Coincidence? No, you little dafties, it's not. An estimated 450,000 children in the UK gamble, with a surveyed 31% of children confirming they have paid for loot boxes. An average spend of £16 per child, with 14% confirming they have gambled in the last week. Now, I'm not going to get ahead of myself here, right? Slow things down a bit. The report does state that this gambling is done in the form of scratch cards, online gambling, using parents' details on gambling sites to place bets that they're not aware of, but it also says it's because of loot boxing. Because of loot boxes. Literally, it says that. Loot boxes are exactly the same as if you were using a slot machine. Some even look like slot machines. You put your money in, you press a button, some nice flashy lights pop up, and then you see what you got. It's this exposure to the mechanics of gambling which is normalising it for today's youth. And don't get me started on the odds of actually getting something that you want, mind. With EA openly admitting that to get the best player cards from FIFA 19 Ultimate Team, the odds are less than 1%. I can't tell you exactly the odds because despite EA releasing the odds for all other player cards exactly, they deliberately left out the best ones at a vague less than 1% statement. And why would they do that? They made $800 million just on Ultimate Team in the last calendar year. That's not $800 million on video game sales or $800 million on FIFA 19. It's not even $800 million on all loot boxes they have across their catalogue. They made that just on FIFA's Ultimate Team. Does that surprise me? No! Given a couple of years ago when I was talking to a mate of mine who I already knew was paying an enormous amount of money on Ultimate Team, he admitted to me he'd sunk £900 on that year's FIFA, and when I pointed out that it needs to spend, he felt, to get the best players, is basically him suffering from a gambling addiction. It was like some amazing surprise to him that he denied it, but I could tell from his reaction and his ponderous freaking mood afterwards, it was like I'd opened a revelation to him. It's like it hit him like a ton of bricks. And people wonder why I boycott EA games, do you know what I mean? EA is the market leader, and where the leader goes, the sheep follow. Companies such as Activision Blizzard following suit, making $3.58 billion in annual revenue from in-game purchases. And how much of that do you think is from loot boxes? Oh, and I'm not a fan of microtransactions either, so I'm not even going to start on that rant. Any AAA game released now seems to have loot boxes included as a standard, but stop and think about that for a minute, just a moment. You're paying for a chance to win items to use in-game, when those same items just a few years ago would either have been included in the base game anyway, or are now intentionally took out so you now have to pay for them, or didn't exist because they weren't needed, like XP boosts or resource boosts, which by the way you feel you now need because games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and stuff make the game so intentionally grindy you feel compelled to buy them, as they have deliberately unbalanced the gameplay to push you to make purchases. You even have games like World War II, like Call of Duty's World War II, creating achievements like watching other players opening loot boxes X amount of times, which are so blatantly designed to normalise loot boxes to compel you to purchase them. It's embarrassing, like. Look where I'm sick, I've reached my limit, I'm declaring a call to arms here, people, alright? If we don't draw a line in the sand now, the next generation of kids will all be penniless gambling addicts. And because one addiction invariably leads to another addiction, consumed probably by drink and drugs. Games will soon just be a passport to the ability to purchase in-game loot boxes and items, like paying an entry fee before entering a shopping centre. How ridiculous does that sound? Would you pay to enter a shopping centre? There'll be no game in the base video games anymore. Online competitive gaming will only be enjoyed by those rich enough and addicted enough to sink ridiculous amounts of money into them, as the rest of us won't have a chance of competing based on our skill set alone. So, what do I want you to do? Stop buying loot boxes, dumbass! Stop completely. Completely. Stop. Full stop. Oh, and while you're on, join my boycott of EA as well. Those money-grabbing arseholes have had enough of our cash. And if we can stop the market leader from leading this loot box charge, I'm sure the rest will eventually follow. Sheeple. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. All the best. Ta-da.